Welcome back to the show. Later in today's program, we are going to have a look at the nominations for the Moonee Valley meeting and also the Rosehill Gardens Golden Rose meeting later this week. And of course, if you live in a suburb in Sydney, or I assume in Melbourne, that has got Rose in its name, you get in for free. So,
yeah.
like you,
well, I work at Rosebery, so it's a good start.
Rosebery, Rose Bay, which is where you grew up.
Don't go there too often.
Roselle, do they count Roselle with a Z? I think you'd have to count it as a technicality, wouldn't you?
Well, if you want to count it, Russ, you count it.
There are 10 suburbs in Sydney with the name Rose in it, so I reckon Roselle's got to be
Roseville, North Shore.
Yeah, there's another one. You can think of them. Let's have a look at more of the Melbourne program from Flemington on Saturday. Now, if you're a favourite fan, you had to wait till the quaddie legs to start to charge home, Nick, but boy, did you charge home in style.
Yeah, it was a tough start to the day for punters at Flemington, but as you touched on, all four winners of the quaddie legs either started favourite or were favourite at one point in time. So Snitzelin got the ball rolling here, but as you can see, it was nervous times for the punters that took the $1.40.
Australia next on her inside, and behind them is Rosambo, followed by Morey ridden off the pace, and then Mercy Lager. And Swift Exit at the tail of the field, down past the 600. Psychic Mick and Pronto sharing the lead. Cambiaso the outside, Australia clear running the inside. Snitzelin just snook it a little bit for a run now. Ollie's searching, trying to find the way to get out of there. Morey's coming to the run down the outside. 350 metres to go. He's gone right over to the inside on the hot favourite Snitzelin, where Australia had the lead. Australia in front of Snitzelin, Morey starting to run home, and then Rosambo. Australia from Snitzelin and Morey up the middle of the track. Snitzelin's getting through along the inside, driven through by Ollie, takes the lead in the dying stages, and Snitzelin too good beats Australia by a neck.
Happy to give half my winnings to Damien Oliver. Didn't panic, switched back on the inside, probably cost himself 3 lengths. That's a big win.
Well, that was a massive win because he had probably looked 3 times at trying to get that run on the outside. And to switch course, only a 3-year-old, get up the inside and get the job done. It was top class. Some massive bets written on this horse. Goes to the sprint at the Valley, into the Coolmore. Looking terrific.
And only the second horse to really follow out of this race from a betting perspective.
Well, you can't be going that badly on the punt, Russ, if you're giving away half your winnings on a $1.40 pop. But Australia...
$1.75 early with Luxbet.
Yeah, bet early. Bet early.
The runner-up Australia was absolutely terrific. Mark Riley's got a really nice horse here. Will be better over more ground. Had a little bit of a gut on Saturday, so will strip fitter and ran a huge race.
And I think if they can keep Rosambo going, they'd like to think that there's something there. The horse that ran third, something there for
bled.
It bled.
It bled. It's out for 3 months.
Okay, the Bobby Lewis was the other sprint race up the straight. And, well, later in the show, we're going to give you our horses to follow. You could probably find 6 or 7 out of this race. Let's pick up the last little bit. And We're Gonna Rock certainly did for Mark Kavanagh.
With We're Gonna Rock immediately on her inside. She has cover behind the front runners. Followed Lavinio. Spirit of Boom is out very wide on the course, and Speediness trying to follow it home, and also making some ground. One Last Dance to the business end, nearing the 300 metres. Title out wide. Spirit of Boom comes at it, and then Pago Rock and Lavinio. Instinction's getting up on the inside with Art Dasham, and then Shanghai Warrior with about 200 to go. Spirit of Boom and We're Gonna Rock with Title between them. These are the 3, 100 left to go, and We're Gonna Rock's hitting the line strongly with Spirit of Boom. They're down to the post, and We're Gonna Rock by a head. Spirit of Boom.
Horses to follow all over that one, Nick. You've got We're Gonna Rock, obviously. There's a few disappointments. I don't know what Shanghai Warrior was doing leading the race into that. Was it the headwind? The machine was disappointing, but there's a couple of follow out of it.
Yeah, you touched on Machine being disappointing. I thought she was disappointing. There is excuses. Obviously, she'll be better over more ground, but we all know that these champion 3-year-old fillies have terrible, terrible records when resuming as 4-year-old mares. And could she be another one that the curse strikes?
Yeah, I won't be as harsh on Machine. She was back there in the pack searching for a run. It was a dramatic sort of a race. There was a lot of buffeting back there. The wind stopped the early leaders. Spirit of Boom looked home. But I love the way the winner stretched out here. And you couldn't miss the Wopster, Russ. VWOP, who normally saves his best probably for Caulfield Valley type courses, but that's him in the outside. Guaranteed to go around way under the odds next start.
Title was good.
Title was good.
Smoking Joey. The thing about Machine is like footballers. She was in the papers all week. Whether the Danny would be or wouldn't be on, I think she just got a little bit nervous. Different jockey.
They're not well treated in the race. Let's give her another run, Machine.
Exactly.
Please.
Probably a little bit harsh, but that was a little bit of what happened on Saturday. But the last leg of the quaddie might have been the banker. Unfortunately, by the last leg of the quaddie on a Saturday afternoon, it's very tough to try and find enough to charge into it. Now, excluded 2,000 metres.
Yep.
What are we talking about here, Nick? It was a very impressive win, but where do we go from here?
Well, Nick Williams again said to me on Friday that excluded all going well would head to the Geelong Cup and all going really, really well would head to the Caulfield Cup. Since this win has firmed from $51 into 21 with Luxbet for the Caulfield Cup, so if you can get him into the
You've got to
field,
get him into the field.
it's going to be a massive chance. I mean, look at the way he hits the line here. He's going to be even better at 2,400.
But you've got to also weigh this up, and rather than do the replay, we'll just talk over it because plenty of people have seen it. You've got to have a look at the cattle behind, though, don't you?
You do, but this is a super progressive horse, Russ. This was 265 into nearly even money.
Yeah.
Well before the jump, it was one of the best goes. It was very progressive. I'll be black booking C. Gallion out of the race, but geez, the winner was good.
The other thing we are going to talk about later in the show is, and Neil just mentioned it, 260 early into even money. The value of taking early odds rather than waiting till Saturday afternoon, but we'll talk about that later. Good start if you're on the quaddie. Bad start if you're bet up early in the races at Flemington. There was a few hot pots that got knocked over. First up, Lady Milksham was a little bit disappointing in one of the earlier races, and we'll have a look at that shortly. But what did you make of the day overall?
I think it was a tricky day. Obviously, there was the wind element, which you don't normally take into account when you do your
Do
form.
we need a windometer every morning
Well,
on Best Bets
no, we
AM
don't.
on Saturday?
No,
The
we
wind's
don't.
coming from the
There's enough readings, but it was windy.
There's enough ratings, but I think Lady Melksham for mine
windotrometer.
was a complete forgive. She was, she couldn't get in. She had to work very hard. She
Been
stuck
up for a
on.
while.
She stuck on well. No, I'll stick with her. She'll bounce back. She's
Where is she in the run? That's three wide,
in
isn't
the
it?
Essendon colours,
Red
3
cap.
wide.
Okay, and obviously the leaders, as you say, everyone was dealing with the wind, but if you're out 3 wide, you're going to cop most of it.
That's true. Nick, ask you a question. Total attraction coming up behind Lady Milksham, just struggling to finish the races. Where to now for it?
Well, it's tough, isn't it? I mean, it's so competitive at this grade, and especially now you've got horses like Zarella coming across from New Zealand, so it's only going to get harder. I think they keep pushing on. I mean, she's just been beaten by a really nice Group 1 horse.
Yeah.
So
Can I spot one in the green there coming 5th or 6th there from a punting perspective? Little Yosei.
Oh, good
Typical
luck.
Yosei run.
Oh, please. Multiple
good
Group
run.
1 winner.
Good run. Jeez,
This is a
I'm
big
struggling.
finish, this.
Oh, it's a big, powerful strider. Looking for further. This is a good horse, Zarella.
And only because he demanded that we talk about it. My producer, who was on Glennie Boss both times, not happy with his rides on Shanghai Warrior or on Lady Milksham. Bit of a victim of circumstances, I thought, Glenn.
Well,
Yeah.
in response to the producer, which is always dangerous, what was he supposed to do? She drew wide and she goes forward,
And
and
they
he
gave
pushed
you
her
no
forward.
favours.
There was no favour. She couldn't get in at any stage, so it was just, what do you do?
Yeah, they were two different
You
types
either
of
got
races
you either
too.
got to lead and do it and spend it early, and she would have been a sitting duck anyway. And in response to one of our panellists who declared this at $11 earlier on Saturday, said get on board, and his Twitter followers were more than happy. I looked at this in the run, and we're talking about Faulkner in the Williams colours, back 7th on the rails there.
Yeah, white cap, and the
And
Williams colours.
you just thought, have I ever seen a horse trekking so well? Now, you think there's a theory behind this?
Well,
horse?
there is. I've been on it just about every time first up. Normally it's back to last. You see it finishing off, the birds flying. I was absolutely doing backflips when Nick Hall got it out of the machine, pushed forward, got into a lovely smother in behind the speed. Normally be 4 lengths further back, and I said, hello, here we go. If he can get rolling at the 300, they will not catch him.
Well,
Look what happened.
$4 favourite on the inside, gone to Gowings about here. But what really impressed me was this part. Forget about the other bit. This is...
Well, it comes to hand quick. It's got good form over 2,000 metres. This is the right trip first up.
This is a horse to follow. I mean, I'm going to black book this horse, and I know it seems like it's obvious, but... You know, second up, you can't go from $11 to 6 to 4. This will still be each way odds every start it has because it's not as fashionable
It'll
as
race
other
in
one.
good company, you're right.
Off the website, puntersparadise.com.au, special 17. Lorne was disgusting.
Never been one of mine, Nick.
No, I've always liked Lorne. Look, I thought she was a little bit disappointing. Yes, she probably was entitled to kick on, but then again, she was
The
up on the
wind?
speed on the windy day.
So the wind was coming into their face down the back,
Correct.
and so if you're in front, you're doing it tough.
And that's why Damien Oliver was so desperate to get cover on Snitzerland, so she wasn't exposed, and he did that perfectly. So Lorne, it was supposed to be her race, but there were probably more horses in the race, like Mr. Milton, that were more disappointing.
I reckon I was at Randwick the day she won on debut. There was a massive rap when she lobbed. I think first race start or very early in its campaign. Maybe she's carried that rap a bit Lorne, because every time she seems to come back, doesn't quite measure up.
Okay, as we go to a break here on Talking Through Your Kick, welcome along to our brand new sponsor, Grand Syndications. And boys, I've got good news because we're in this one. We've all bought a share worth $1,000 to Grand Syndications. That's the reason behind the name.
Excellent.
Every share costs $1,000. $6 a day includes everything, and they've got an exclusive no extra bills and easy out options. And that just means, quite simply, no other bills ever. No extra vet bills, it's all included.
That's handy.
You can pull out whenever you want. No questions asked. So if you're saying, I've had enough, the horse is no good, I can bail out, or I can't afford the $6 a day, well, you're doing it tough anyway, you should own one. But it's the sort of thing coming up to Christmas, end of footy trips type of
Great idea.
footy season, $1,000, get your mates involved. Your contract ends when you say it does. And of course, you can even have some incentives to introduce some mates in, and you get 50% off your next share. AFSL licence number 226693. Go to the website grandsyndicates.com.au. Read the full product disclosure statement before you get involved. But let me tell you, I'm involved, and so should you.